All right, this video is a little different. Just tapping into the energy I feel at the moment, which is some of this energy, some of this tower energy, um, but in a good way, like fireworks. Um, Splitting the deck to the Chariot, and I got up. I didn't want to get up to open the window, but I really wanted the window to open up and to turn the fan on after I had kind of cleansed and saged and burned some Palo Santo and some incense to set the mood. Part of that mood required some effort that I wasn't anticipating, and that was uncomfortable. Um, that could be part of the tower energy that is present. But there's also a sense, just speaking here personally, and maybe you resonate with this, a sense of general opposition and general difficulty, but in a way that feels rehearsed. There have been, I would say, these energies have been presenting themselves individually, one at a time, in kind of an orderly fashion. And now it feels more so like being ganged up on, like kind of all at once, mixed signals, a lot of doubt, a lot of uncertainty. But also it's showing me in a way that how I've grown, and now I'm capable of keeping my head above water in a sense when that happens. So this type of situation in the past would have very easily overcome me and overwhelmed me, and now it's very much a situation that I'm able to bring my awareness to and stay poised and maintain poise. So this tower moment is much more as if I'm personifying that tower to the circumstance, is saying no more, but in a very calm, cool, and collected fashion. Not in a malicious fashion, not in a reactive or aggressive or angry fashion, but just sort of all that is necessary is an awareness. And maybe a little bit of effort. You know how when you're finishing a long race, maybe a marathon, and you maybe a mile out, like, oh, the race is virtually done, but this last mile is what actually counts. Because if I quit now, the previous 25.2 miles are for naught. But if I push through this last mile, I will be victorious. And so this tower energy is representing this uncharted territory of that last mile of your journey, of this chapter, just before the seedling breaks and breaches through to the daylight, through the soil. That is very much where we're picking up this energy right now. And so I just want to, you got the bottom of the deck, Ace of Cups energy. So it's going to be a very fulfilling season. You've been working hard, been hard at work. At least those around you have recognized your effort and are appreciating your effort. You're beginning to trust that doors will be opening, opportunities will be present. You're seeing the world differently, seeing the world on your terms. Maybe this, I know for me, this resonates a lot with just self-talk. This doesn't have to represent some grand change of scenery or anything too extraordinary. I think a lot of times just being able to trust a new mindset, being able to settle into new habits, having the energy and the motivation, and just being able to trust yourself. That's really important. Being able to, I think Let me pull one more. King of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, or the Six of Wands. I mean, this is success. You know, this hard work, this new mindset, this new outlook. This is bringing in success, and by every definition, because success, when you're a success in and of yourself, detached from money, detached from relationships, from status, detached from any, your living situation could be unconventional. Your approach to situations could be unconventional, but yet you are successful. And that is a frequency. And the universe is mirroring that frequency of success, of accomplishment. To be revealed. That's exciting to me. When I see death, especially combined with the moon, it could be, this next moon cycle, this last little bit of letting go. Sometimes the last things we let go of can make all the difference. Again, going back to the marathon analogy, maybe it's not necessarily an effort that you have to exert, but a fortitude that you have to exhibit, right? Maybe it's not an exertion. Maybe you don't break a sweat. Maybe it's staying calm, cool, collected. Maybe it's standing firm in your decisions of this new identity, really trusting this new identity, and allowing the process to play out to where you are manifest to yourself, where you can witness yourself. That's beautiful. Yeah. I see here, I think oftentimes when we're vibrating into a new frequency, there is a lot of doubt. I mean, I think that's one of the symptoms of kind of renewing the mind, is there's attachment in the ego. The ego has become accustomed to this identity. It's friends with, you become friends with who you are, that old self. And sometimes it's time to say goodbye, and that does feel like there can be some agonizing times. Maybe you need to cry, maybe there's a release, maybe there's just a bit of suffering involved, and maybe you just have to love and witness yourself through that anguish. And oftentimes it's more psychological than anything. That transition from one state to the next can be psychologically difficult. It could be brutal at times. I know it's at times been, even when I know it's coming, even when I know that's what I'm going through, we still have to wrestle with the story of who we once were. We have to wrestle with the story of betrayal. We have to wrestle with the story of injustice, and wrestle with the story of unfairness. Man, that's rough, and I feel for you if you're going through that. But know that there is always an opportunity to surrender that story, and to detach from that story, and to go within, and to ask for help, to plead for help, to say a prayer, to breathe, to meditate, and to go into nature and look at nature. Just observe. How is it that the grass turns green in the spring? How is it that the little tiny blossoms emerge from what appear to be dead branches? How is it that the birds still sing this vibrant and beautiful song after the harshness of winter? How is it so that there is constant rebirth and rejuvenation after such an extreme period of drought and coldness and dryness and death? How? That same nature is in your nature. Just remember that. So find your light within. That's an opportunity to withdraw when you're surrounded by desolation and death, and when you're in anguish. Withdraw from that. You don't need to identify with that. And that is, in my opinion, the true hero's journey. Because once we take that inward hero's journey and we triumph and we conquer through surrender, through love and faith, it is like a big bang, and there's nothing else there's nothing, no other direction for it to go other than to reflect outward, right? You reorient your beingness, and just make sure to do it with as much love as you can muster. Love is the ultimate weapon. And the last card I'll pull here, is Judgment. I'll take a peek at the last. Yeah, there's, there's gonna be, I want to say, a restoration. There's going to be, you're going to be made whole, and that is the encouragement and the hope that I will leave you with today, as we are exiting the winter energy, entering into a new year. Spring is upon us. There is rejuvenation, there's rebirth, there's restoration. And that's what we can hold on to, the natural cycle. And as human beings, we are so sophisticated mentally and intellectually that sometimes we become hyper fixated within our suffering, forgetting that we too belong to the natural cycle of things, and we live according to the cycle of the cosmos, and there are laws of nature, and we just need to surrender to that and trust that we are loved and will be taken care of, and match that frequency of assurance, of trust. I hope you're well. I hope this helps.